You're up, Commissioner.
All right, Bannock County Commissioners are back in session. I'd ask for a motion to go into the Board of Equalization.
Mr. Chair, I'd make a motion that we enter into the Board of Equalization.
We have a motion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, to begin, we'll have the Deputy Clerk swear in all those that are going to participate or speak.
Stand and raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear that any testimony you're about to give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes. Thank you. This is a hearing of the Board of Equalization under Idaho Code 63-501 of the Board of County Commissioners. It is required to convene as the BOE. We are here to determine market value under Idaho Code 63-205. All real, personal, and operating property subject to property taxation must be assessed annually at market value for assessment purposes as of 12:01 a.m. of the first day of January in the year in which such property taxes are levied. Furthermore, under Idaho Code 63-502, the function of the Board of Equalization shall be confined strictly to assuring that the market value for assessment purposes of property has been found by the assessor, and to the functions provided for in Chapter 6, Title 63, Idaho Code relating to exemptions from taxation. It is hereby made the duty of the Board of Equalization to enforce and compel a proper classification and assessment of all property required under the provisions of this title to be entered on the property rolls. And in so doing, the Board of Equalization shall examine the rolls and shall rise or cause to be raised or lower or cause to be lowered the assessment of any property which the judgment of the Board has not been properly assessed. The taxpayer shall have the burden of proof in seeking affirmative relief to establish that the determination of the assessor is erroneous, including any determination of assessed value. A preponderance of the evidence shall suffice to sustain the burden of proof. We're here to discuss the market value of the property, the condition, state, or information that is relevant to this topic. This is fact, not conjecture, or things you may think. We are not here to discuss taxes, past grievances, policy, personal income, or other issues. If you do not stick to the discussion as requested, your time will be reclaimed. The hearing will go in this manner. The homeowner will have 3 minutes to tell, you'll state your name, and then your 3 minutes will start. And then if there are questions, we will answer questions. And then the assessor will have 3 minutes. And if there's questions, we'll answer questions. The rules are to be kind, direct all questions or comments directly to the Board of the Commissioners, the Board of Equalization. If your conduct is out of line, you will be warned, and if your conduct continues to be out of line, you will be asked to leave or escorted from the premises. All right, Mrs. Anderson, would you state your name and your time will begin.
Julie Anderson, and my property is on Jason Street, and I think you've read my little statement that I wrote. So my property I haven't changed anything about my house for 55.5, made no improvements. They built 8-plexes, low-income housing, trailer courts, storage units in my neighborhood. There's been, I can't see my house going $157,000 and some, in 1 year, they raised that much. So when as you read, when I called the county, they said, oh, because it was assessed at that amount, it won't affect your taxes. Not necessarily. Well, I didn't believe them, so I called the state. State said the same thing. At the time, I was going through some health issues and didn't want to deal with this. I thought my taxes aren't going to go up. I'm not going to appeal it. Got my taxes in November, and that had doubled. And I didn't understand why. I'm like, nothing has changed. Oh, we go by sales. That's all they could say. You know, I can't get comparables. The board of realtors or whoever, the state said the realtors, they would get fined if they helped me get comparables. So I have no ammunition. I have no idea what houses are selling for in my neighborhood to the value to me. I'm gonna die in that house. They are dragging my cold dead body out of that house. I don't care if you say it's worth $1 million or $50,000. Doesn't make a difference to me. But to tax me more while I'm still alive, because yeah, I have some health issues and my days are numbered. Why should I have to pay such a high rate? Because the realtors and the appraisers say the value of my house has gone up so much. When I don't have a garage, I don't have a fireplace, I don't have a computer, I haven't worked in over a year, so I'm living off my savings. And I thought, oh, I'll be okay. They're not going to raise my taxes. I'll be okay. I can quit. Well, I did. And then I got double the tax because of the assessment. And when you don't make any changes, you don't make any improvements, but yet I'm paying double the taxes. It just doesn't register with me. For $157,000, I could have bought my house, 3 houses like mine. When I first bought my house. So to raise it that much in 1 year is excruciating to me, and it does affect the quality of my life. No doubt. Inflation, everything, I mean, yeah. I really got raked over the coals last year. I didn't appeal it. I should have. Is my time up?
Almost.
Yep.
It's up. Thank you. Any questions about what you just said?
No.
Okay, your 3 minutes begin now.
Okay, this, the subject parcel is at 3730 Jason. Her values actually went down this year from last year. And we did the land, her land is all valued the same out, 60,000. We did a massive land adjustments. And she is comparable with all of her neighbors, and we have comparables here that shows her house is a 1920. First comparable is a 1920. Basically about the same square footage. She has a total of 1316 finished. First comparable is a 975. The square footage comes in on that 138. Hers is 144. Second comparable. 1920, pretty close to the same square footage on that one as well. That one comes in at 145 a square foot. And then comparable number 3, pretty much the same, a little bit more square footage. The price on that one comes in at 193 per square foot. So that's what we have to go by, is by what the state mandates, is by 100% market value for the sales. And just like I'd like to point out again that it did drop for her. You know, some people stayed the same, some people's has dropped. So that's what I have.
Okay. Do you have a question about what he just commented?
Yeah, it went down like this much. Maybe $9,000 from 157.
14,000.
It went down that much. That's not enough. No way. There's no way my house
Okay.
is.
Thank you. Comments from the commissioners?
I have one question about your comps here. I'm looking at the land values, and I'm wondering why for comp 3, the land value is so much significantly lower than it is for the other 3.
You want to go for that, or you want me to?
I'll let Joshua address that one.
That's a clerical error on our part.
I'm sorry?
That's a clerical error on our part. The land is actually, if you look at it in profile, should be at 60,000, but that was when the packet was prepared, they put the wrong information in it. That was what the converted value was in 2021.
But it's right in the computer, right?
Yes, but it is correct at 60,000 for the land value for comparable number 3.
So the land value in comparable 3 is supposed to be at 60,000?
Yes.
Correct.
Yes.
Which would put that value at 167 per square foot.
So this 193 number is wrong also?
Yeah, yes, because it was comparing it with that 16,000, yeah. We had found that and wanted to correct that, but we'd already turned it in, so we thought we would make note of that here. But it is correct as on the InProval and on their assessment.
The program price per square foot is what?
For this one, the correct is 167 per square foot for that one.
167, okay.
Yeah, not 193, but 167.
Okay.
Can I ask?
No, it's right here, right now, the discussion.
Question again, on the comps, they're all of your comps are 2022 or earlier. Couldn't find anything more recent than that?
Are you talking the year built? Or what
No,
are you
I'm looking at the sale dates. And the reason I ask
Okay,
is,
I got you.
as in yesterday, we had some people bring up Zillow and other real estate market analysis tools, and so just for fun, I pulled that up. And the two that I pulled up have her market value a little bit less than what you have, which shocks me because that's not normally the case. And
As-
so
Are they time adjusted? We have to time adjust sales. to the
they're
first-
substantially more than what you guys have.
Okay, yeah.
So that's why I was wondering if you had more recent sales that would maybe help adjust her home price even more, or, because in the 2 years we've been doing this is the first time I've seen those sites say that they have a value less than what you guys have.
I got you.
So that's why I'm just kind of curious.
So is it, you're saying that the comparables, one of the comparables is showing less? On Zillow is what it's saying.
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
looking at two different real estate sites,
Gotcha.
and both of those sites have a market value of the property in question less than what you guys are showing as the market value,
I got you.
which in the last 2 years, that's the first time that's happened.
Okay.
So when I look at your comparables are all over 6 months to a year old. Do you have anything newer than that that would maybe sway your price, potentially lower?
That's definitely something we can look at. When we're looking at the sales, we're only looking at sales during that 2022 year.
Correct.
And then, of course, they're separated out to homes that are like hers when we come up, and then when we come up with a median value for that.
Yeah.
All I can say is I'd have to look that up in the sales database and see if we can find any newer sales.
And I'm not arguing with
All
the
of those are
comps
going
that-
to be in that analysis already. We would just have to,
Yeah, I was just curious,
Okay.
because, again, I agree with the comps that you have, I think they're very comparable to
I
hers,
see,
but like, my big thing is, it's the first time in 2 years
that you've seen
that
that.
the online version is less than what you guys are coming at, so
Yeah.
it just
Okay.
raises a question to me.
Yes.
Well,
I'm
and on
not
that
sure
same
how
point, that Commissioner Huff made, one of your comps is in 2021 sale.
Yeah, is it October 1st, 2021 to December 31st?
October 7th.
Yeah,
Yeah, okay, so it's
That's
within
the
that
time
window.
frame they're required
And then
to
you-
look in.
and then you would time adjust that forward, correct?
Yeah, all the sales have to be time adjusted to January 1st.
And what rate are you time adjusting them at?
That would depend on the year. For 2021, it was roughly 2%. In 2022, it was 1%.
Okay.
So my statements here is, as we look at all the data that's here, you've been in this is the third time in 5 years for BOE. And each year, we've taken down 10,000 and 10,000, and even this year, it went down 14,000 from last year. So there's a time when a person that comes into BOE on a regular basis and gets their property taken below the values of all their neighbors ends up getting caught up. And that happened last year, in my opinion, and then this year, you've looked and you've adjusted down $14,000. So I appreciate the efforts that have happened. And like I say, BOE is a time where we look at individual properties, and there must have been a reason in the previous years that we took it down. Something was there that identified the reasoning. I don't see that you've presented a reason this year to me. You've talked about taxes, you've talked about everything else, but by the sales and by the comparables, it looks to me like the assessor's office has done their job. I mean, I'm not looking at Zillow and stuff. I mean, if you have evidence or something,
Well, can you look up parcel PSP 000100?
RP PSP 000100.
Yes. That's the property right next to her. How similar is that property in size and everything compared to hers?
Okay, the land is the same. Let's see.
Your new system doesn't have all that data in it, or at least I'm not seeing it.
Right. Okay, so hers is 1920, this is a 1940. We have this in as average condition. I believe we have hers in as fair. We've got, the appellant has 3 bedrooms and 1 bathroom, this has 2 bedrooms and 1 bathroom. Looks like the square footage, total square footage. Let me see this right here. Actually, I've got it right here. Okay, so she has 1,300 finished square feet, while this one has 1,500 finished square feet.
Okay,
I
so
get enough information.
in your system, you have her neighbor valued at 215.7, and you have her valued at the 255. And so she got a similar sized lot. Her condition is a little bit less, right? Average and fair.
I'm just double checking that.
And she's got less square footage. And so I question the value based on that.
Okay.
And then her neighbor right behind her, which has a bigger lot, which the lot value is about the same. Yeah, lot value is the same. And there, you have them valued at 205. I go directly across the street, and they're in that 200, low 200 range.
Just south of the street? of her?
Yeah, I
Further
guess it would be
west?
on the south side, yeah.
Okay.
So as I look at all the homes around her, hers sticks out as far as the value that you have on it compared to the others. I don't agree with what she thinks the value should be, but I think it should be a little bit closer to the lower 200s. Again, that's an arbitrary thing, just looking at this data here.
Right, okay.
comment?
I agree with Commissioner Huff.
This would be one I would probably remand back to you to have, just take one more look at it. There's just enough evidence on the other side, and granted, the law says you have to bring us a preponderance of evidence, which I agree with Commissioner Moser, you didn't necessarily bring us a preponderance of evidence, but as I look at this, there's enough red flags that at least warrants a second look.
Okay.
So, Mr. Chair, I would make a motion that we send this back to the assessor for a second look, and
How much is the house behind me assessed at? The one on Dolbeer, it's right behind my house.
that one's at,
That's the 100?
no, that is the 300. This one, if I'm looking at it correctly, it says 205.
Dovier?
Are these this year's or 23?
That's this year's.
23, okay.
Is it turquoise?
All right,
I don't know. Do you
we have a
picture?
motion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
So, Ms. Anderson, we've remitted your house back to the assessor's office to do a reevaluation. You'll be notified what the decision is made at a later time by letter. If you do not agree to that, what we decide on, you have the ability, after you receive the letter, to file with the state to appeal that, or to go to the district courts and appeal it there. That is the current decision of this board.
Can I see the comparables? Is that an option for me?
I would just encourage you to get in touch with them and visit with them.
They wouldn't let me see them before.
Well, they probably can't let you see the comparables, but
I mean, do they have garages? Do they have fireplaces? Because that's what they've compared me to in the past. Brick house, fireplace, garage.
Okay, this is over. All right,
Oh, I thought I was going to be able to speak again.
we give you that opportunity.